just adjust this for a second. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new live stream, my first live stream in a little while. And this is going to be for what I call, and the first of these in a while, and this is my Blu-ray and DVD haul, which is basically whenever I get a DVD or Blu-ray in the month, I usually wait till the end of the month to show all the films I got on DVD or Blu-ray. Kind of like how Cody Leach does it, like with them off the shelf or whatever it's called. Like, it's kind of like that. I did once used to do it with just one DVD a month, but usually when I realized I often get quite a few Blu-rays or DVDs every month, I decided to just do them all in 1 month, and it's a lot easier. Then I can show all the stuff I got this month. And yeah, with that being said, let's get started with it. For starting it off, first film I got, technically I got this one at the end of March, but technically it was the end of March, so I just decided to do this for this video. And it was the only one I bought in March because there weren't a lot of new releases on March. Matrix Resurrections could count, but I did not buy Matrix Resurrections because I thought that film was a piece of shit. Hello, Lucamus. So, first one to start off, April 22, Scene 2. This was a film I did not review last year, and I did see it, but I didn't review it last year because I'm just one of those guys that I don't need to review every single movie I see, but yeah, I did see this, and for someone who's not too big of an Illumination fan, I mean, except for Despicable Me 1 and 2, this is probably the best of the films not in the Despicable Me franchise, and especially after the disappointment that was Secret Life of Pets 2 and quite a few of the disappointments Illumination did. It was pretty good to see this. I think I liked this one a lot more than the first one. Absolutely, screw Resurrections, but yeah, I'm one of the people that likes this better than the first one. In a way, there's somewhat better story, and stuff, but yeah. This is probably my favorite Illumination movie, and the first one was also pretty good, but this one I liked better. I'll just say that, and around June, before Minions: The Rise of Gru comes out, I think I'll do an Illumination month where I review every Illumination film once a week, or every Illumination film leading up to Minions: The Rise of Gru. But anyway, yeah, that's when I'll review it, and you'll see my full thoughts on the film. Anyway, and of course, our next one, which was the first Blu-ray I bought on the beginning of the month, Scream 2022. This should be called Scream 5. I'm so sick and tired. Hello, Blue D. Because I'm so sick and tired of this trend with horror sequels being just called the names of the original film. Halloween 2018 was just called Halloween. Personally, that should have been called Halloween Returns. That would have been a way better title, not Halloween 2018. This movie should be called Scream 5, not Scream. The only kind of direct sequel trend that actually seems to have an actually original name was Ghostbusters Afterlife, at least. Because at least it wasn't just called Ghostbusters. Yeah, this should have been called Scream 5, because technically, this is an actual fifth installment. It's advertised as a requel, but it's actually a sequel to Scream 4, because they do mention the events of Scream 4 in one scene. But now, I thought this was pretty good. I wouldn't really overly hype it. I mean, I did a little overly hype it a bit when I first saw it in theaters. And then I saw it a second time, and I realized some of the flaws some people were talking about. So yeah, now it's kind of bumped down to third place. I honestly would still rather watch Scream 2 over this, but I would still watch this over Scream 3. Yeah, exactly. At least with Lucamus, at least with Rocky Balboa, it wasn't just called Rocky. At least they had a Balboa at the end. But Rambo 2008, yeah, that should have been called Rambo 4. Not Rambo 2008. But anyway, back to Scream. I thought this was third best. I kind of like its take on requels in a way, and I really I just they kind of take on requels in a way, and kind of mention how instead of remaking, you can't really remake a horror film anymore. And there is actually a scene where in Scream, guys, for those who watch Scream, there's a fictional franchise called Stab that's based off every single one, and they mentioned the newest one, Stab 8, and was terrible, and apparently the Stab 8 was directed in that universe was directed by Ruin Johnson. So I kind of this movie has a little bit of a roast towards Rian Johnson, kind of a way. The quote they mentioned is it was directed by the Knives Out guys. So yeah, and one character says, I really like that movie, yeah. And Winker's like, yeah, because you have horrible taste in films. Like, it was kind of funny just seeing Ruin Johnson get that roast towards Ruin Johnson. Anyway, but I'm just going to talk about Blu-rays. And then this one was not a new release, this was not a movie that came out this year. Like, this was a movie, like you all know, I reviewed around the beginning. Yeah, I reviewed this movie, but I'm going to show this Blu-ray again anyway because I still got it this month. Smokin' Aces, one of the most underrated Ryan Reynolds films out there. Like, I reviewed this movie. I really enjoy it. I think it's an underrated film. I kind of wish it deserved a little more attention. I do kind of wish Ryan Reynolds would try to do a little more roles like this, because he was really phenomenal in the movie. He was easily one of the best parts of the movie. And there is a sequel, a direct-to-DVD sequel, but from what I've heard of the direct-to-DVD sequel, I will not watch it, because I've heard it's not even connected to this at all. I've heard it was pretty bad. Anyway, and now, actually, before I get to the next one, I should probably explain why I watched this. Well, during one of the Saturday night chats on Lucas Prime's channel, he also interviewed Empire Fan Productions, and Empire Fan Productions did see where one part of the interview, he does mention how he has seen this movie and wishes Ryan would go back to do more roles like this, and that got me curious to check this movie out. And I'm glad I did. And he was actually right. Speaking of Empire Fan Productions, our next film we got, which is a DVD, not a Blu-ray. This is apparently for one of Empire Fan Productions, another one of Empire Fan Productions' favorite movies of all time, Tremors. I have not seen this one yet. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. I've never seen it, but I know it's one of Empire Fan Productions' favorite films. I know it has a shitload of sequels that apparently nobody cared about. But I'm interested in checking this one out this weekend. Maybe I'll check it. I have the place to myself this week, so I might check it out this week during that time. Because yeah, but all I know is it's another one of Empire Fan Productions' favorite movies. So, I'm gonna be checking it out. Alright, and now the big gun. The biggest one I got last week. The one I've been long waiting to show up. Spider-Man No Way Home. I loved this movie. I saw this in theaters 3 times. The first time was opening night. Second time was literally on opening weekend, just 3 days after I saw the film because I loved it so much. And then the third time was on New Year's Day to kick off the new year. But yeah, this was a phenomenal film, especially for someone that is not a big fan of the Holland trilogy. I mean, Homecoming was just okay. Far From Home was averagely good. I did like it. I did like Far From Home a little too much when I first saw it, but then I rewatched it, and I like it a little bit less now. I mean, it's still good. I don't like it nearly as much. I mean, because like the Iron Boy Jr. thing's kind of a little too obvious in Far From Home. So yeah, that kind of didn't really sit well with me. Far From Home and Homecoming don't really feel like Spider-Man films. Those are my big flaws with this version. But No Way Home was the first film in this trilogy that finally felt like a Spider-Man film. It was like the Spider-Man movie we should have got. It's kind of like I consider kind of the Revenge of the Sith of the Holland trilogy. I mean, like, because like, we know how with the Star Wars prequels, Revenge of the Sith was kind of the film everyone was long waiting for George Lucas to tell, and the wait really paid off. So this was kind of like that in a way. We finally got to see an actual Spider-Man betrayal with this version. I like seeing like this version of him actually go through the tragedies Spider-Man often goes through in the comics, and some people can say, sure, maybe, like, my only bad qualities I guess I can think of is, some of the Iron Boy Jr. references are in here, but they're only, like, the first half of the movie, just only that stuff, like, they're not as obvious as the first two, in a way, and, what else am I gonna think of? And I guess kind of the ending is a little bit too depressing, but to be fair, it kind of does make sense, because it was kind of I feel like with the ending, like, it was kind of the only way they could kind of go, in a way, but sure, it was a little too depressing at times, but it kind of did make sense if you watch the film. But hey, at least in the ending, we got to see Spider-Man wearing the original suit in the comics. Oh, wait a minute, another bad quality. The post-credit scene. I saw the post-credit scene on YouTube, and yeah, that's the reason I did not, after hearing the spoil the post-credit scene on Wikipedia, yeah, I did not stay for that because it made the whole Let There Be Carnage ending so pointless and stupid. Like, Let There Be Carnage, like, I thought Venom was gonna meet him, but no, instead it ends up being nothing. He end up getting transported back to his universe, and the Venom we're gonna probably get in this one is probably just a different portrayal. So yeah, I did not watch that in theaters. I just watched it on YouTube, and I'm glad I didn't stick around for that. Because it's just a sequel setup, and like I said before, guys, after this movie, I was gonna be done with the MCU, and I plan to stick with that promise. But despite that, really love this movie. It was a perfect way to wrap up Tom Holland's story arc. And now is a good way to close off the MCU. And now, our next one is just another DVD, but it's actually not a movie, it's for a TV show. The TV, and this one is going to be Chucky Season 1. You were probably expecting me, Movie Lover 20, weren't you going to review all the episodes? Well, here's the thing though, when there's a TV show, I kind of like to wait till all the episodes are out so I can binge watch it. And when I heard it was going to be released on DVD, I just decided to wait till the season came out on DVD and watch it. So yeah, I finished watching it like for first 2 weeks before I watched No Way Home. I decided to watch this first, and I gotta say, it's a pretty good show so far. I really like this season. There were some okay episodes, but there were also some pretty good episodes. Yeah, I'm so glad we're getting a season 2. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I can't wait to see where season 2 goes, but I thought it was pretty decent. I'd say like it's not as good as the first 2 movies or Bride, but it's definitely better than Cult and Seed. I will give it that. Yeah, but all right. Our next 2 are kind of older releases, but I found these at a little vintage shop for pretty cheap. Yes, Lucamus Prime. Brad Dourif did reprise his role in the show. He does. This one is actually connected to the original films. Anyway, but our next ones are going to be, first off, Avengers Age of Ultron. Been trying to recollect. Yeah, Blue D, I don't really review TV shows, but that's the closest you'll probably get to one. But anyway, Age of Ultron. I'm kind of trying to going on as kind of a recollect with some older MCU films, the ones which is my era, but which would probably take a lot of months because the MCU movies are pretty damn expensive in my area. No, you're not offended. I wasn't offended, Blue D. Don't worry. But yeah. Now, when it comes to this, it's okay. It's mediocre at best, but when it comes to my journey of the MCU, I can still somewhat in a way count it because it does kind of bring in, at least it like introduces some other Avengers like Wanda and Vision and stuff, and so I can still count it. I would still rather watch this over Iron Man 3 or Thor the Dark World, Crap Eternals. Yeah. This along with Iron Man 2, when it comes to the weaker MCU films, this and Iron Man 2 I can count as canon. Because with Iron Man 2, guys, and Iron Man 3, like, the difference with Iron Man 2 introduces us Black Widow, War Machine, and Nick Fury. So yeah, it may be weaker than the first Iron Man movie, but at least it has a purpose. Iron Man 3 does not. So if you were going to be, in case you guys wanted to ask that. And now onto our next one, the director's cut of Terminator Salvation. Now this is probably, when it comes to the follow-ups after Terminator 2, this is probably the only one I decently enjoy. But apparently Empire Fan Productions says the director's cut is way better, so I bought the Blu-ray so I can check out the director's cut and see what's a little more different about it and stuff. But yeah, this movie, I can concept as somewhat of a prequel. It's prequel to the first one, and if you kind of think about it, because it's like set in 2018, the Terminator movies are kind of set around the 2020s. So this is not really a sequel. This is kind of supposed to be a prequel. A lot of people call it a sequel. I don't know why, but it's probably my favorite of the ones after Terminator 2. Probably the only follow-up I can really stand watching. The rest I don't care about at all. Terminator 3 can be just like a what-if film, but Terminator Genesis, Terminator Dark Woke, or Crap Fates, yeah, no, fuck those two. I am never buying those pieces of shit. Alright, and our final one for the month, which was also back to the new releases. This one came out like just 2 months after it hit theaters. And this is the funniest movie I have seen of 2022, and my second favorite movie of 2022 behind The Batman, which is going to be hitting Blu-ray shelves next month. Jackass Forever. I loved this film. This was probably one of the funniest movies I saw in ages. Like, I saw this in theaters twice, and like, it was just very hilarious. I had some skeptical thoughts about this because it was a fourth film, and I thought they were gonna just tone down Jackass for all the Twitter Karens or mainstream audiences that always like to complain over things being too graphic or raunchy. But no, like, I'm glad they did not do that. I think they've I think they made it even somewhat a little bit more vulgar than the other films. I mean, Jackass #2 is still the most vulgar of the films, and still my favorites. But this is my second favorite Jackass movie. I really liked all the throwbacks to the older stuff, and I really liked the tribute to Ryan Dunn in the end credits, and I really liked some of the stunts too. There were some stunts that did make me cringe a little bit. Like, there was this one with Steve-O and Bees, but there were a lot of stunts that made me laugh like so much. And my only other bad quality is that they kind of bullied Danger Aaron a little too much in this film. Like, I kind of felt a little bad for Aaron, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he deserved to be bullied a little less. I think he kind of wish he was bullied a little less, but it was still a funny movie, and I still really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to watch this movie way more times. Like, it was just a blast from start to finish. But yeah, until then, guys, that's pretty much it for all the Blu-rays I got this month. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought, and until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching, and no, not review. That'll be it for this Blu-ray and DVD haul for the month. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120. Forever. Yeah, I think it's look at this. I think Jackass Forever might be the end of the Jackass films. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because after Knoxville got hospitalized. But yeah, till then, guys, see y'all next time.